California Congressman Khanna, a Democratic member of the House Armed Services, Agriculture, and Oversight Committees. Welcome, my friend. Let's get into this because it certainly seems like the Republicans are saying it's up to the constituents. I'm curious what you make of that argument because the voters voted for somebody different, right? Given what they were told.
Look, this is not resume exaggeration, which many people have done, unfortunately. This is making up your whole life story, lying about your faith, lying about whether you went to college, lying about where you work. And it's a total distraction for the Republican Party. I mean, this is what they're getting asked about. So it's in their own interest to call for his resignation. And frankly, it's in Congress's interest that someone like him resign so that people don't think everyone in Congress doesn't have ethical standards.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's turn from there to the numerous House Republican investigations into President Biden, and they include a probe into Biden's family businesses. That's led by the Oversight Committee that you sit on. How will you and your Democratic colleagues approach these investigations?
Well, Alex, the first point is that the American people care about the price of eggs. They care about having jobs. They care about bringing manufacturing back. They care about not having a government shutdown. So the investigations, I think, are distracting from the core agenda. Now, we have an oversight function, and if they want to have fair investigations, that's fine. But don't bring private citizens into it. The president, you want to have oversight. The White House, you want to have oversight. Fine, but his family members who have nothing to do with the president's business, that I don't think is the business of Congress.
And to your point, is it possible that these Republican-led investigations might ultimately help Democrats? Because Americans, will they conclude that Republicans are more interested in investigating than legislating?
Yes. I mean, if they end up making their principal 2023 year about investigation, I think that will backfire in a big way. What Americans want is to make sure that we aren't defaulting on our debt, to make sure we keep government open, to do something on increasing wages, to do something on taxes, and to do something on inflation. I mean, did you see any Republicans run ads saying we're going to investigate the president? No one ran on that. They ran on issues, bread and butter issues. And I think voters will feel betrayed if they turn around and simply spend all their time on investigation.
Yeah. I want to turn to this new revelation. It's a big one. It is from the oil industry. This new study in the journal Science says that ExxonMobil scientists were remarkably accurate in predicting global warming since the 1970s. And that was the same time the oil giant told the public it doubted global warming was real. You've been looking into the fossil fuel industry for a long time and the efforts to spread disinformation about climate change. How startling is this study? And is there any kind of accountability that should or could take effect now?
Well, Alex, I appreciate your covering it. And it didn't come as a surprise to me because for 2 years, our committee had the big oil executives in front of us, had millions of documents, and we discovered two simple facts. One, the oil companies in the 1970s knew about climate change more than anyone. They had the best science, and they made a deliberate effort to lie to the American public. And that made it so much harder for us to transition. We could have started the transition in the 1970s. Two, the oil companies, unfortunately, continue to mislead. They're talking about meeting Paris Accords, about being clean companies, but they are not investing the money in clean technology, and they're continuing to expand their carbon footprint and fossil fuel infrastructure. Just like big tobacco, they need to be held accountable.
Well, to which I say keep on keeping on that.